On the surface, Celeste is just your average platform Meat Boy ripoff game with some simple mechanics and a baseline difficulty which anyone can complete quite swiftly. But you're wrong. Start the climb and go through the intro area. There are strawberries you can pick up. Don't worry about them, they're not that important. They don't do shit except change like the pie you get at the end screen or something, so relax. You can jump, dash, and in the main story, that's really about it. Doesn't really seem like much, but I promise you the amount of challenges they hurdle at you and the amount of things you can do with these mechanics is like insane, for real. The main story is going to take you like 7 or 8 hours. Well, that's how long it took for me. We can talk about these 30 hours later. Okay, so you've done all the chapters in the base game. The Forsaken City was the easiest thing you've ever done. The old site was testing you a little bit, but was an easy accomplishment. Celestial Resort was the first part of this game that really pissed you off. This place just sucks. Golden Ridge's win wanted to make you quit. Mirrored Temple was a little confusing, but another easy accomplishment. Reflection was kind of hard, and the summit was difficult, but as you know, it's the last chapter, and you were determined to finish the game. What? Boom! 7 or something hours later, and you finished the tutorial. Literally, yes, that was pretty much just the tutorial. You can either call that an achievement and move on to another game and forget about Celeste, or you can believe in your platforming skills and carry on. There are crystal hearts on every level. These blue hearts unlock chapter 8. We will talk about this later. The crystal hearts aren't that hard to find. That's what I'm talking about, boys. Some of them are just in hidden rooms and require little dance patterns to unlock. And there is this one crystal heart on like chapter 3 or something where you literally need to go out of bounds to get it. You have to use a screen swap technique and refresh your dash and la-di-da-di-da. There is the heart right there. So collect all the hearts because they're pretty important. Now to the B-side tapes. To collect these, it's pretty easy. In the base game, in every chapter, there will be a secret room somewhere and a little timing puzzle to collect the tapes. Collect them all, and I'm pretty sure there's like 7 in the base game. After all these crystal hearts are collected, a new area opens, the core, which is chapter 8. This chapter is pretty much the same, but it's kind of a little different with like the dashing and shit. I hate these jumping things as well. After all of this is completed, start the B-side tapes. These will seem daunting, but I promise you, you're absolutely right. These are hard as hell. The first chapter isn't too hard, but for some reason, I literally could not pass the first room for a while. Just watching this pains me. The next chapter, chapter 2, took a whole lot longer, but I now know that I'm actually getting the hang of this game. Chapter 3 was low-key a breeze, and chapter 4 was actually horrible. How do you even do that? The wind in this level literally is the most unfair thing on earth. Like, how does anybody compete with this? And who added this to the game? But man, I got goated and I breezed through that shit. The next level was one of my favorites. The whole thing was actually really easy in my opinion until you get to the part where you need to throw Theo, who was stuck in a glass cage, must I add. And damn, I spent a while trying to keep us both alive until I got to the end level. I literally did this on my first go. I'm crazy. That was just pure luck, I think. This next chapter was pretty easy as well. This part where you need to fight the inner version of yourself was low-key hard, but the last level, I did not finish on my first go. Actually, I missed a heart entirely while jumping to it. Dude, there's no way that's real. Now for the last chapter of B-side, the summit. Once again, just like in the main game, it's going to take you through these mini versions of every chapter. The chapter 1 recreation was kind of a breeze, except for this part where you pretty much have to be Spider-Man, but either way, still got it. The chapter 2 recreation took a while to get hang of, but I got it anyway, an actual win. This last room in chapter 3 was kind of hard, but at this point in the game, everything just kind of came off natural and only took a few attempts. It feels like you've mastered the game, but trust me, you haven't. This win level is definitely easier than it seems as well. I was just kind of being stupid. Back on chapter 5, this is where I really started feeling like a pro. The moves were on point. I really felt like I could finish the game in the next day or so. I was wrong. Literally on the next level, I got absolutely steamrolled into the ground. I could not finish this level, man. It took so damn long. Specifically this last part in the level, like, oh my god, these jumps where you have to gain height and get to the heart is literally impossible and nobody can tell otherwise. But obviously, knowing me, I rocked that shit anyways and came home with a win. But that wasn't even the real challenge. B-side on chapter 8, the core, is one of the most miserable things I've ever gone through. And anyone who's played Celeste will know how I feel. I haven't even gotten to the C-sides of the game yet. Yeah, this level took a while. A long while. But after it all, they made the last room one of the easiest ones ever. This took me like 2 goes. And that's B-sides complete. One thing about Celeste is that when you actually finish a section of the game, it genuinely feels awesome. It actually feels like you've completed something worthy. Anyways, we ain't done yet. We have the C-sides now. And when I say these are hard as hell, these are hard as hell, man. I'm not even joking. The pain the C-sides make you go through is absolutely nefarious, man. Oh my god. No. Let's get to it. One thing to know is that the C-sides are very small to make up for the difficulty. You're going to spend a lot more time on the C-sides than anything else, except for like chapter 9, but they're just like really hard. The first room of chapter 1 was kind of a test. It's actually not that bad. Next room was a breeze, no stress. Anyways, now we're on the last level of chapter 1. See, not that long. And let me tell you, I was on here for a while. No joke. But you know me, I got that shit in the end. Next room was a breeze, no stress. Next chapter was low-key cash. First room easy, second room easy, and the last room is actually really fun, but kind of hard. Either way, it was easy. Now, I spent hours on the third chapter, especially this last screen. It wasn't even like the first 2 rooms that were hard. I did those no stress. But this one, what the fuck? Where you need to jump on top of the hotel owner. Oh my god, man. Death after death after death after death after more deaths. Oh my god. What the f? I learned that I need to jump on the dude's head, grab the crystal, and move on. After more deaths and such close calls, finally, the heart was achieved. Ah! The next chapter really pissed me off too. This literal starting area was too hard, but I did it anyways, as always.
Oh my god, we're cooking. We're cooking.
Yo, the cook is crazy! And then in the next screen, the wind came into play, but was actually useful in this level. After understanding how to actually beat this level, it was quite easy. Another win under my belt. This next chapter was one of my favorites. I was making some crazy wall bounce jump things, and it made me feel so good. And I was pleasantly surprised on how easy that level was compared to some others. Now, this next chapter, literally at the start, I knew I couldn't do this. These little blue things are so hard to get a hold of, in my opinion. The first screen wasn't too hard, and I got a hold of it quite easily. I'm like the Celeste god, what can I say? Using one of my favorite mechanics in the game, the wall bounce jump thing, it felt so smooth, I love it. This next screen was also pretty easy, so let's just move on. Now this next screen where you got to use the moving block thing and the little blue circles, they're some of the hardest things to use in my opinion. It took me ages to figure out what to do with this Mario thwomp thingamajiggy, but I eventually figured it out, and it made me feel like an absolute beast. The next screen was the last one. Honestly, not too bad. It only took me like 70 attempts because of these blue things. Now we're onto the summit. Honestly, I think this was my favorite level. Something about the design of this level just feels so great, especially because it's the last stretch of the mountain. The whole first screen was just wall bouncing. Pretty ironic as this being a platform game. Maybe the platform devs should add some damn platforms to the game. The next screen was also very similar. No platforms, but you need to get a good sense of timing in this level. Actually, you need a good sense of timing in the whole game. This next screen was the most enjoyable. My absolute favorite screen in the game. The near perfect pixels you have to hit, the wall bouncing, the absence of a single platform until the end. I'm just kidding. I was on this level for an hour. You pretty much have to be pixel perfect in this game, but over time, it was once again completed. We also see Granny on this level telling us that it's over, but it literally isn't. I still got 2 levels to go. Let's get into it. After collecting all the hearts, the core level seaside was unlocked. So here we go. So what's really stupid about this level is that they introduced a whole new mechanic, a whole new damn mechanic that is only used in the intro, obviously, but on the very last jump of this level. The very last jump. I was on this chapter for who knows how long. 5 hours. What the hell was I doing on this chapter for 5 hours? That's literally crazy. But this level put me to my absolute limit. All the moves you have to make is insane. Literally, Battleline literally says I'm not a mountain climber, and I'm out here doing this. Whatever. After hours and many deaths, and also missing the whole heart one time. No! It was completed. It seems like this would be the end, but I was longing for more. It still wasn't enough. I am worthy for more than this. So thank God there is farewell, because I spent a whole school day trying to finish this. Literally, there's 100 screens, hardest levels out, a lot of pain to go through, so I got to it. I died and died and died and died, and I died so many times, I don't even think it's a joke. The amount of pain and accomplishment I went through in this chapter is a whole wild trip. And don't even get me started on these stupid ass fish things, bro. The amount of pain I went through on this. I guess that's honestly what this game is about though. And I know any of my friends watching this are gonna think it's cringe what I'm gonna say, but at this point, I really don't care. Celeste is a special game. A really special game, actually. You go through Madeline's story, you go through her emotions on anxiety and depression, the feeling of not being enough or not being worthy, the feeling of self-doubt, and the feeling of, you know, just never feeling like you can do it, whatever that is you want to do. She climbs Celeste in order to prove herself that her emotions aren't in control of her, and, you know, she is worthy of whatever she wants to achieve. Her self-doubt is literally portrayed as a character in the game. She attempts to stop you from climbing Celeste and attempts to bring you down, but either way, you as the player keep playing, keep climbing the mountain until the eventual end of the mountain, proving to Madeline that she is worthy of what she wants to achieve. But what I think is really special about this game is that the game isn't only about Madeline, it's about you. You playing the game and completing the levels and climbing the mountain is also proving to you that you are also worthy. I think the game is intended that way. The game isn't a movie. You are controlling Madeline. You are climbing the mountain. You are the one who is ultimately enough. You probably feel self-doubt when playing the game, like entering a new level and thinking to yourself that you'll never beat it. But after countless attempts, you eventually did get it and move on, which can also be applied to your life. If you're watching this video, I most likely don't know who you are, and I don't know what you're going through. You may have depression, you may have anxiety, and countless other things you deem that control your life. But just like Madeline, your self-doubt is just another part of you. You control what it thinks and says. You are in control. You aren't your thoughts or emotions. Your depression or anxiety or anything else isn't you. The only thing that is you, and you are worthy of whatever you want. So am I, and so is everyone on this planet. All it takes is some persistence and hard work, and I fully believe anything you want is possible. Who knows? Maybe time after time, you'll eventually get it, and it'll feel greater than ever before. Please!
Oh my god.